Leathur Rokk here with a ring light. Welcome to my channel. Today we're going to do something. We're going to cook. I'm going to be baking. It's the witching hour. It's actually 12:29 a.m. where I'm at. So I'm sort of trying to keep on schedule here, and I'm going to make my mother's Bachelor biscuit recipe. But this is not the kitchen, so I'm obviously going to have to go in the kitchen. So you're going to have to follow me, but I'm going to pull the plug first so that I can do this without making a mess and knocking things over and all that, because that really sucked if I did that. Okay, got thing unplugged, and I'm going to bring the whole show on the road. Come with me. You know what? Gotta do this very carefully. And I hope that nothing goes wrong here, because, in my world, things are never easy. Follow me. Follow me. And, how are you guys doing today? I'm going to see where the heck I'm going to set this so that things look as good as possible. I had a pretty damn good day, and I can't wait to tell you about it. I also cleaned off this table completely. As you can see, it doesn't have any of my mother's paperwork on it anymore. I noticed something interesting. When parents and kids get older, sometimes the roles kind of reverse, and I'm starting to act more like my mom, and my mom's starting to act more like my kid. I don't have any kids, and it's kind of weird, but you know what? Things are the way they are. And as long as you can make it work and act like a halfway civilized family, and isn't that what's the most important, right? Well, I'm going to plug this in, and and I've got some good news to share with you too. But I want to make sure that I have everything that I need for what I'm about to do. And by the way, I have on order a much bigger ring light. And this thing really would be better if it actually had a tall stand and stuff, but it doesn't. I've got a nice big bag of flour here, and I've got baking powder, and I've got salt, and I've got shortening, and I'm pretty sure those are the ingredients. And of course, I want to wash my hands, because you don't want to have dirty hands. That would just totally not be logical. And knocked over some other things. I wasn't sure until a few minutes ago exactly what it was that I was going to fix for you. I knew that I was going to do something. I really wanted to do cookies, but so many of them want so much butter, and I was going to go and see if I could add some coconut oil to make up for some of the butter, and I didn't have time to do the search because I had to do some last minute cleaning. When you don't plan ahead as well as you should have, things happen. So, but I've got to wash my hands. I mean, I hate to say that my kitties are germ magnets, but yeah, I wanted to make cookies, or maybe I could do them after I make these. I don't know. I'm kind of celebrating something. I went to the doctor's today, and not too many people know this, but I had a bunch of tests done. I was really scared. I had a mammogram, a bunch of mammograms, and a sonogram, and I had a biopsy last week. And the doctor wanted to see me today. And when they don't say it, you're on the phone, I was assuming the worst. Well, I'm not going to die. At least, I know I'm going to die sometime, but hopefully not anytime soon. I don't have cancer. That's what I was worried about. I was so scared. I was really, 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 I was kind of making peace with things. Anyway, I don't have cancer. It's only fibroadenoma, and they're benign and they're not dangerous and stuff. So I'm actually celebrating being healthy. And now tomorrow is the Atlantic City Air Show, and I'm going to go on the boardwalk watching the airplanes, and I'm going to bring some money. And if I can't find some really good weed, at the end of the day, I'm going to go to Dollar Tree. I'm going to get some butter pecan ice cream because I got all kinds of nuts, and I don't just mean my neighbors. So, yeah, I'm so happy. I'm so relieved. I wish everybody good health. And yeah, because health really is wealth. It's not a lie. So I'm going to assemble my things. You know what? I think this should be higher. So I'm going to put this up here. And I know my lighting is kind of a little wonky, but you know what? I'm going to make the best with things and try to get a good view here. It doesn't look like this place is such a mess. You know, there's only one of me, and I don't have time to do everything. But let me mix up the ingredients here. I'm going to have to get a bowl first. Lots of bowls here. Yeah, I would like cookies. But that said, I'm really not sure exactly how much butter. Some of them actually want 2 sticks of butter, and that's crazy. I mean, I gotta have some butter. Well, obviously, I'm gonna have to have some butter to put on the biscuits. And, you know, I love butter. My father always liked butter. And some people are worried about the cholesterol, but at least it's not a trans fat. And I'm not a fan of shortening, but that's what the recipe calls for. And my mother, I love her. I love her. I really do. She drives me crazy. I was looking in her dress books, her cooking books, for this thing called Bachelor Biscuits. And here it doesn't say it in here. It says in this recipe book. And by the way, this is a New York Times recipe book from like 1963 or something. This is actually under baking powder biscuits. And according to this, it calls for 2 cups sifted flour, 2.5 teaspoons of baking powder, 1 teaspoon of salt, a third cup shortening, and 2/3 cup milk. It says approximately. So, and instead of the refrigerated milk, this is shelf-stable milk that can last literally for years. We don't drink milk in this house. My mother occasionally might put some milk on cereal, but aside from using milk in cooking, we really don't use milk enough. And usually whenever we get the stuff that's in the refrigerator, it a lot of times goes bad before it gets used up all the way. And who wants to waste food? That's just not right. So, okay, it says preheat oven to hot. That's the first thing I'm going to do. So, let me do that. And this is my baking sheet here. And these are the measuring cups and spoons. At least I got everything out. I mean, you don't know. The day is crazy. And I got out of the shower like an hour ago. And it's been so hot that I'm taking 3 and 4 showers a day. I mean, imagine living without air conditioning, which you might think, if I don't have air conditioning, what the hell am I using an oven for? But you know what? You can't bake biscuits any other way. I mean, if I bake the cake, I'd be doing the same thing. So, 425. Make sure that, yes, don't have anything in there. Now it says, sift the flour, baking powder, and salt in the mixing bowl. And I got big old sack of flour. Matter of fact, this flour says it's from Deseret Farms. This is actually from the Mormon Church, Church of Jesus Christ of Latter-day Saints. And I wish that was the church that was below us. Unfortunately, it's not. Can you imagine living above the Mormon Tabernacle fire? That would be awesome. So, trying to get the flour out. measuring cups here. Okay. 2 cups sifted flour. Now, what I'm tempted to do is make a double recipe, but we don't have 2 of the same size sheet, the baking sheet. The other one apparently was used by my brother to make pizza, and he worked it. So I hope I don't eat too many of these things. So you know who makes good biscuits? Have you ever had Popeyes biscuits? Oh my God, I love their biscuits so much. When I lived in Hollywood, I used to give them half dozen at a time. There's this place I was dancing at, and it just so happens the Popeyes really, really close to there. And I knew one of the managers, and he gave me a business card that had a discount. It was like maybe only 10, 15%, but still, there's something. And I would get a half a dozen biscuits at a time, and I would get that red beans and rice. I think it's so wonderful. But I would usually have the red beans put over the Cajun rice, give it a little bit more flavor. And man, they do spicy chicken like nobody's business. And I really think that their biscuits are better than KFC's biscuits because Popeyes biscuits taste like they're fried. You don't need to put anything on them. You don't need to put butter on them. And they even have a little bit more salt in them. So they've got a really great, great flavor. Okay. So sift the flour, baking powder, and salt into a mixing bowl. So let me get out the baking powder here. And this hasn't, yes, it has been used. It says 2.5 teaspoons. Okay. Now don't expect me to be as smooth and polished with baking as your cooking channels because I haven't done things like this on camera very many times. But you know what? It's something it's kind of fun to do. And hey, everybody has to eat. And I only cook what I love. So, and since I have a variety channel, that means that I don't have the confines of a narrow niche that I have to conform to. And since my channel is not big and it's not even doing particularly well, so I have the freedom to pretty much do whatever I please. And that's pretty cool. I really love having the freedom. And some of my motivation for starting a YouTube channel was so that people who like me would like my content. I don't want to only make content for a narrowly defined subset of humans, which is not to say that I think it's possible to please everybody. I know it's not, but 1 teaspoon. This is a cool container this comes in. It actually has this thing that scrapes the excess off so you can get a nice little measurement. I've actually been looking at a lot of cooking videos lately, not because I'm preparing for this, just because one of my day jobs involves watching videos. And I discovered that my favorite cooking channels are the ones where you actually see the cook. There are some where the people never show their faces and all they do is talk. I like to see the person behind. I think so much of what makes videos great is the person who's doing it. And especially if they seem like they're really nice people, that's really important to me. I have to like the person whose content I'm watching. And to that end, I hope that my personality isn't particularly reprehensible. You know, I believe it's important to keep it real and not be pretentious. And I'd like to think that the person you see on video is the same person that you would see if you ever met me. I'm doing a little tiny bit more than, yeah, this looks like a level teaspoon. I prefer my biscuits to be definitely not sweet. I mean, I'm the kind of person that when I eat pancakes, I don't put syrup on them. I put Tabasco on them, and butter and salt and pepper. And people often trip out on that, but that's really what I enjoy. Whenever I eat pancakes out, that's how I eat them. All right. Um, so mix these together here. I recently got a bunch of baking, bunch of cake flour also, so that I can do something with all these recipes I've been collecting. And lately, they've been coming up with recipes that use a rice cooker instead of baking things. And they also have no-bake cookie recipes that tend to use oats and peanut butter. We have lots of them. And I got all these nuts that I can't wait to use in recipes. Okay, I'm going to have to cut the shortening into the mixture. I knew I was going to have to do that, so let's see how much shortening it calls for. I am definitely going to get my eyes fixed. It calls for a third of a cup of shortening, but let me make sure that that is, in fact, what it says. Yes, it does. So let's get the shortening out. Here it is. Well, at least I'm not going to be using up my butter in the baking. I think it would probably be a good idea for me to get some more butter so that that's one thing you never want to run out. I can't eat most bread unless I have butter on it. Unless it's Kalamata olive bread. OMG. I love that so much. In Los Angeles, I would get that at Trader Joe's. And I would get some lox. And I'd get some cranberry juice. And I would take them to Venice Beach. And I would have myself a picnic underneath the palm trees, you know. But a ways from where the skateboarders and the bicyclists and the roller skaters are, so that people wouldn't try to beg off of my food. It's not that I'm not generous or something, but when you have a special lunch, I mean, you can't be giving that up unless you knew that you had a whole bunch of extra for people. But most people don't seem to like necessarily the things that I like. So, it's a nice flat metal. I guess you can call it a butter knife. I know I have to get this level. Okay, this is a third of a cup here. I'm gonna maybe get this down here. In. Oh, yeah, be careful not to do that so that you don't have the stuff go airborne. That would not be good. Probably should use a spatula to do this. One of the things that drives me crazy when I watch cooks on video, when they don't get everything out of their measuring utensils, or when they crack eggs and they leave half the egg in the shell, that just drives me batshit. Because I'm thinking you're wasting all that egg and you end up with approximate measurements. I realize if you're an experienced cook, you know how to eyeball things and stuff. But wasting so much egg just never made any sense to me. Now I gotta get 2 knives, so I guess I might as well just use that knife. And unless I put it in the sink already, I'll be darned if I do. Oh well. So I'm going to cut this in. This is now pot cookies. By the way, I do have some buds, but I had a little problem with them. They were given to me, and I smoked some, and they taste literally like somebody sprayed Raid on them. And I smelled so much good weed on the boardwalk today when I was walking home. And you know, the sad thing is they don't have any retail establishments yet. Even though it is totally legal for everybody in the state of New Jersey, the only dispensaries we have right now are for medical patients only. And these places only accept New Jersey state medical cards. They don't accept cards from other states. It's just like people that have gun permits, which, by the way, unless you're a civilian, you can't carry in the state of New Jersey anyway, so don't try it. And they are going to be opening more dispensaries for medical people only. Now, they have, speaking of pot, they have a pot convention coming up next week here at the Showboat. It's called Canifest, I think. But they want, for a one-day pass, $50 plus $3 and something tax, plus a fee, an additional fee of $4 and some odd cents. And that's just what it takes to get in. A 2-day pass is $75 plus like a $6 fee and $4 and change tax. And that would have been more than my weed budget. So unless I could somehow get in on somebody's guest list, I'm not going to be able to get in. And I tried, on the subject of cannabis butter, I did have a little harvest, but I'm pretty sure that it was just dirt weed. And I screwed up when after I harvested it, I neglected to cure it. I got a glass jar and everything, and if you really were doing the right thing, you know, you're supposed to make note of the humidity, and there are special devices which can actually measure the humidity, and you're supposed to keep it in a certain range, and I neglected to do so. What I did was I just put the dried buds in a paper sack and put them in one of my closets, and promptly forgot about it for a couple of months. And the thing is, I was going to do a whole series on YouTube about it, and I realized that they had been demonetizing half of my weed content. And even though you don't even get ads put on your channel until you have 1,000 subscribers and 4,000 hours of watch time, if YouTube decides that your stuff cannot be demonetized, can never be monetized, then it doesn't matter how many subs you get and how much watch time you get. You can never monetize your content. They find all these ways of punishing us, and they get stricter and stricter with the things that we can and cannot talk about. It's like, you guys know I get political. You know that I love Trump and I talk about Trump. And there's things that we're not allowed to say. And I've had run-ins with YouTube where they threatened to take videos down just because I was talking stories about how I do and do not get along with various family members. And there's a video on my channel about my aunt that I made the mistake of sending some souvenirs from Washington, D.C. pertaining to the inauguration, how she all freaked out and stuff. And YouTube tried to demonetize me under this recent rule that they have that says you can't talk about the election being a fraud. Oh, it is a fraud. So I said, wait a minute, so you're saying I can't talk about my not getting along with a family member? That doesn't make any sense. And of course, they relented and they gave me my video back. But YouTube is increasingly hassling us creators for so many things. So it's making me really think twice about some of the things I discussed. Scooby snacks. Oh man. Um, maybe after I get this stuff in the oven, I will show you what I mean about the weed. Uh, I don't know how hard it is to get decent weed around here. I refuse to go to Popeyes, where the gangs hang out. Matter of fact, when I was on my way to my doctor's appointment today, there was nobody hanging out, even if I wanted to subsidize those people, and I wouldn't. And I know that because of the way I look and the color of my skin, I would end up getting swag or twigs and stems. But, oh, you should have smelled the stuff I smelled. People were smoking on the boardwalk today. I mean, it was good stuff. It was skunky stuff. It was such a beautiful day. And today was the rehearsal for the air show, so there were still a lot of people on the boardwalk. And since people know that it's legal now, nobody was hiding. People were smoking out in the open, and I'm not going to go kissing up to strangers or whatever. I'm not going to put myself in jeopardy or give the wrong impression or whatever. And I swear, most of the people that I used to smoke with around here either moved away or they passed on to meet their maker. And somebody did, and I'm not going to say who, passed off leaf shake gave me last month. And it's like, you can't smoke that. This was like, I would have gotten better high off of wait until autumn and going and waiting for the leaves to fall on the ground and growing on my street and smoke them, okay? But then this guy decided to give me this stuff that smells like absolute chemicals, tastes like Raid, not that I would know, makes my limbs numb, kind of like cocaine would, but it was not cocaine. I mean, if I felt anything, I only felt something for like 5 minutes. That's pretty messed up. Now, I am not going to put poisons in my body. When I had my health scare, I was even thinking about, is this repercussions from the things I used to do, what I gave up 20 years ago? Because hard drugs do have major chemicals in them, and they're made with very poisonous things, especially if the things you used to do are amphetamines, for instance. That stuff is pure poison. I knew people that made stuff, and I saw some of the stuff that was in it. There's some scary stuff. But why somebody would be selling tainted weed? And there's, you should be horsewhipped if you're going to do that to people. And the thing is, I'm not going to go pass it off to somebody else. First of all, they never forget my face anyway. People don't forget people who give them bad things. Second of all, I wouldn't do that to another person, You never know who might have a compromised immune system or something and get really sick from giving them something poisonous. And I won't smoke it because it doesn't get me high and it's just toxic waste as far as I'm concerned. So I have been without weed for the longest time that I've been without weed in probably years. I bet it's been like 3 weeks since I've inhaled any at all. And now with the COVID possibly having a resurgence, and I'm saying possibly because I know in many parts of the country it is. Here, I don't know if it is or not. We had some beach concerts last weekend or this weekend. A band called Fish was on the beach, and I didn't even know about it until like almost Sunday. I couldn't tell from the kind of people I saw out my window. When I was looking out my window, it looked like the same gangs and people buying heroin and stuff that I always see outside. I didn't see any hippie-looking people. I didn't see any different kind of people going to the beach, honestly. And all I was doing, because it was hot as hell, was doing the online tasks that make me a few coins. I still don't have, my TV is broken. I need to unplug it. Oh, we got our cable restored, by the way. So my mother says that the television that's here in the kitchen that's not even hooked up, that's going to be put in my room, so I'm going to be able to watch TV again. But now, the last time I had some weed, I got some really good weed from a company that I discovered at the last cannabis festival we had here in town, where I did get on the guest list. But again, I'm pretty sure I'm not going to get on that list, because let's just say I'm pretty sure. They make these things so expensive. And again, our governor made it legal, or rather, we voted it in. It's supposed to be legal. And what good is something being legal if you can't buy it anywhere? And of course, today I went out without so much as a penny in my pocket. And while I was on the boardwalk walking home, some homeless guy was trying to spange me, and I said, "Look, my pockets are bare." And he said, I'll sell you a joint for $4. And of course, I didn't have $4 on me. Then when I got home, my mother said that I actually had $2 in an envelope. That was from left over from the bus fare from when I was in the hospital last week getting some tests done. And that was kind of a little bit of an adventure, because I misjudged how many zones it was to get to the hospital, and I ended up having to walk on the side of the road for an extra mile so that I wouldn't be doing 4 zones and only doing 3. And then I was going to go to Dollar Tree and get some butter pecan ice cream, but and I still might end up doing that tomorrow if I don't find any weed. But then again, I wonder if anybody's going to be wanting to sell weed on the boardwalk with all the state trooper and military people. But then again, if we're totally legal, there should not be any fear. But I still want to make sure that there's something good. I'm not buying garbage. You know, if it doesn't smell like Pee-Pee Le Pew, I'm not getting it. So anyway, there's this company that had this stuff that was called moon rocks. And they sent me an eighth of one kind and an eighth of another, and only a gram of the moon rocks. And the moon rocks, without a shadow of a doubt, was the absolute best. Life's too short for substandard weed. I wish we would have the full federal legalization. You know, having all these states go legal is no good if the Fed's still going to mess with you. And if you have to worry about crossing state lines and traveling, and like, what if I ended up in Texas or something where I do have some cousins and I've heard a lot of good things about it. Texas is good with the gun laws, but I think pot's still a felony there. And Florida, I believe, is very unfriendly with the pot, but they're good on the guns. And of course, alligators and crocodiles, anything that would eat me and my cats, that makes me a little nervous. Plus, Florida is the lightning strike capital of the USA. I'm terribly, terribly afraid of lightning. And every time you guys have a hurricane, you've got to evacuate. Even though if I ever made my way down there, I would have that school bus that I do intend to buy. Yeah, it's been so long since I had weed. I just don't really get around that much. Sometimes I go pick up lunch for me and my mom, you know. But I've just been staying at home with my computer, and then I do listen to talk radio when I think about it. Because at least my radio, my boombox, gets to a decent volume. Because I have 2 fans in my room now. I have the one blowing at me, and I have a window fan that I have actually on my bed near my pillow. And I have to be so careful that the fans aren't aimed against the heat sink on my computer. You know, there's the area where the heat exhaust goes. That if I have fan blowing at it, the computer will just burn up. And I need to get a decent computer. This one is just not. I strongly suspect it only has like 4 gigabytes of RAM. Plus, the computer thinks it belongs to somebody else, namely the person that gave it to me. And so I can't use things like my Dropbox or my OneDrive. I can't get into my Microsoft account. I'm lucky that I was able to get my Hotmail. And I don't ever mean to be ungrateful when somebody gives me something, even the only reason why this computer was given to me because I lent them my bus fund to get them out of the jam. And I still don't know why I did that. Because if I was going to be generous with somebody, it would have been with a friend. But, you know, sometimes you do what your intuition tells you to do. And the thing is, my gut never lies to me. Alright, I don't know if this is ever going to do what it needs to do. It says it's supposed to be like coarse cornmeal. I'm not sure that's really what it looks like, but I'm going to let you guys see it. Now, this is where I'm going to put the milk in. It says, my vision has gotten so bad. Oh my God. It's totally robbed me of the joy of reading. And the thing is, I don't want to be a glasses wearing person, and I'm not passing judgment on people that wear glasses. It's just not a fashion statement I want to make. But for reading, I don't mind putting glasses on. My favorite frame style is aviators. I think they're bitchin'. And they have these, so many companies now that once you know your prescription, you can get really cheap frames on the internet. And so you can get different kind of styles. I know I want to get sunglasses in the aviator style. With or without mirrors, it doesn't matter. Let's see, 2/3 of the cup. One kind of aviator frames I want to get are these really awesome rainbow aviators. There's a company called Zimmy or Zinny, and they're only like $6.99 or $9.99. They're really, really inexpensive. And I wouldn't wear them all the time, obviously, but they would be cool. And rainbows go with everything, you know. Oh, it says to shake well. Maybe it'll be a good idea if I actually shook it. You know what? The cap came off. Yeah, you can tell this is live, and I'm not in the habit of doing this all the time. I guess I'm going to have to hold my hand over it. Well, I don't know how well as well. Two-thirds of the cup. Okay. Now, stir mixture gently with a fork while adding milk. Use enough milk to form a dough that is soft but not sticky. Okay, maybe I should do that. you hear that crunch? That is the hinge or something. I'm such hell on hinges. And it says, use enough milk to form a dough that is soft but not sticky. I noticed it didn't say anything about not mixing too much. Because if you mix things too much, things can be tough. But then if you don't mix things enough, then you have plain old flour and things, and that wouldn't be good either. I honestly think it would have been smarter to use a spoon with this, maybe. Then again, I don't know. Can't help but think a bare hand would have been better, maybe. I never planned on having this happen so late. But I needed to clear off this table. Didn't say use your hands. I'm going to use my hands. Maybe I need a little bit more milk. I think it needs more. Okay, now it says the meat on a board. Well, I guess I better get some kind of a board out. Forgot about that. Uh, Let me see if I'm going to have to grease the baking sheet. Uh, hold on. What I'm going to do, this isn't a board, you know, we can lie and say it is. I'm going to throw some flour on this. You know what I wish I could find? When my father was still alive, in another apartment, they had a recipe for chocolate zucchini bread. It was actually on the refrigerator, and I had intended to make it one of these days. Somehow, during the move, it must have fallen down and fallen on the floor or something. But for the 6 or 7 years that we lived in that particular apartment, uh, I had a garden outside, and I grew zucchini, and I grew different kinds of tomatoes, and I grew 2 different kinds of uh, lettuce, and I grew basil, and just all this legal stuff, you know, and mostly in really big pots, so that I was able to bring them in after, before frost. And the year my father died, we were picking tomatoes actually till after he died. I just brought the plants in and put them on. We had some really wide windowsills. And tomatoes, they don't just automatically die. They will last quite long. And last year, I had tomato plants that were over 2 years old. I never transplanted them to the garden. There's a community garden that's very close to here, but you have to wade through where the gangs hang out selling their heroin and stuff. And it just was not safe for me to get there to be able to do my watering and stuff. And when I finally transplanted some plants uh, early, I guess in the middle of the spring, literally before the day was out, they died. And when you go through all that time and effort to grow a plant from seed and it dies on you, it's really depressing. You get attached to your plants. After I get this in the oven, I'm going to show you what I got growing now. It's not much. I mean, I tried growing some lentils just for the hell of it, and it's not like I need lentils. We have so many bags of lentils, it isn't even funny. It says knead on a lightly floured board until smooth for about 20 strokes. Wow. This is so unstable. I'm probably doing everything wrong. You know what? Too bad. I don't have a whole lot of baking experience. That's probably one thing that I least have a lot of experience with. I think I'm a pretty good cook. I only cook what I love doing. And sometimes I'm just too tired. If I've been taking care of personal business responsibilities, medical, whatever, all day. Sometimes I'm just too tired. I understand why people eat junk food. They're just too tired and they don't want to deal with things and they'll go and splurge on takeout and things. But our economy does not allow for going and ordering Chinese food, stuff like. Even when the Taj Mahal was still open and my mother was working there, financial things were different. It's just the money I make, I'm saving toward that bus and or the electronics that I need. And there's things I want to get for my channel to upgrade it. I want to get a better microphone. I need better lighting. I'd like to get a floodlight so that when I do the turnaround, you could still see the color of my hair. This doesn't look like it's going to make very much. But this recipe, we've been eating these for years, and I really, really enjoy them a lot. They taste like they would even have baking soda in them, but they don't. It's baking powder. And this is what I've got here. All right. Now, it says roll dough on the board until it's 1/2 inch thick. See, this is where I screwed up and I didn't do a board. Well, hold on a second. I want to show this to my mom. I want to ask her something. You know, I know why I never got married. Any spouse I would have, we would drive each other crazy. My mother's now telling me that I should have looked a couple recipes down and looked at some things. It's like, you know, how she's lucky she married a nice guy like my father. Anybody else would have beat the crap out of her. I don't know. Oh God. This is why I'm single. I don't think I play well with others either. I don't take people's shit. I'm not submissive enough to be agreeable. Um, my mother, she may be a chick, but she's the most masculine chick I've ever met. And I've met some real, uh, I've met lots of non-binary people. I've met lots of people who don't fit gender norms. And that doesn't trip me out. I'm a very open-minded person. I've lived in San Francisco. Okay, that should tell you a lot. I don't trip out on too many things. And I probably don't conform to a lot of norms myself, but you know what? Oh God, I would probably drive somebody crazy. I don't think I get along well with others unless they're animals. You know, it's amazing that I have friends, and my friends tend to be all over the country and all over the world. Some of my friends, speaking of all over the world, some of my friends are stuck in very, very dangerous places, and I worry about them. And the way things are going, like look what's going on in Afghanistan now. I mean, you hear that the Taliban's going in, and they're going door to door in houses, and they're looking for women and girls, and they're taking them, and they're making sex slaves out of them. It's oh God, I feel terrible for the people that are stuck there. And there are people that are so desperate they clinging onto aircraft and they fell off to their deaths. Well, I guess that's better than being made a sex slave or something. Just, I don't think Donald Trump would have handled it like Biden's doing. You know he wouldn't be. Okay, she says that I should just divide this into 12. But I know she never used cookie cutters or anything. She just used teaspoons and teaspoonfuls on the baking sheet. Uh, and it doesn't say that you got to grease the baking sheet. This is my sheet here, and it's quite warm. You know what? I better put this in the fridge so it doesn't get bad. I'm gonna make a lid for this thing. Cut this in 12. I guess if I do each one of these in fourths, that'll get my approximate measurement. I guess by now you know I'm not a pro at baking. I've never worked in food service. I've never worked in a restaurant. I heard it's hot as hell. And considering how I'm just melting with this lack of air conditioning, I'm starting to wonder if there might not be something to the theory of reincarnation. Maybe, maybe I was a real dirtbag in a previous life. So this is my comeuppance. I would have to be reincarnated into a family that doesn't believe in air conditioning. Okay. This is in 12. And I'll just take each one and I'll kind of go like this. And Yeah, speaking of Scooby snacks, I actually ground up a bunch of leaf shake from my own leaves from my harvest, and I was going to do some cooking with them, but then when I did search, I found out that the only recipes I saw were for bud. They weren't for leaf shake. And since the leaf shake was from what I was pretty sure was crappy weed, I figured it wouldn't do any good. Well, then when I found out, when I actually got a bottle of this liquid extract, which I'm about to show you, I tried using it and I didn't feel anything. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. And when I talked to the people that manufacture it, they figured out that maybe I just metabolized too fast. And if that's the case, then edibles wouldn't get me off at all. And that sucks. I didn't know that that was possible. I heard that there are some people that get too high off of edibles, so you have to really be careful of your uh, dosage. So now I'm thinking maybe I should get a refillable vape pen so that I can smoke my extract. Okay, these are not all the same size. So, hey, should be interesting. I'm going to show these to my mother. Hold a second. All right, these are what they are. I'm going to stick them in my oven. All right, now I'm going to look at the time here. It's 1:32. Okay, I'm going to bring this computer. I want you to see my plants. Got a pepper plant, and I got weed. I'll show you my cannabis, and I'm sure this is dirt weed. I'm really sure it's absolutely garbage. And it's so young, it doesn't have a scent to it. And this is, I believe, some kind of sweet pepper. The small things at its base are actually dandelion seeds I planted. I wanted to grow dandelions because you probably know that you can eat dandelion flowers, and they are really great in salad. But oh god, the neighbors are such jerks. I mean, they totally bullied the people downstairs into not setting trash cans out. So we're the only people on our whole block that is not able to have access to the trash cans. And then last trash day, the trash cans were never set out at all. And the thing is, I'm so mad at the people next door. I won't, they cussed my mother out. They told her to go fuck herself. My mother's an 80-year-old woman. You don't talk to people like that, especially, okay, like you could talk to me like that and it wouldn't bother me because I don't flinch at the F word. You can call me a cunt, you can call me a bitch, you can call me a motherfucker or whatever. That does not bother me. Matter of fact, some of those words I kind of like. My mother, she does not like that kind of talk. It is what it is, you know? She's not amused. She thinks it's disrespectful. She thinks it's low class or whatever, and she's just not into it. But I want to show you that bad weed. Hold on. A better view. You know what? This thing is unsteady. Let me put this here. Because if that thing falls down, I'm going to be very upset. Hold on. All right, I am back. I'm gonna put this up here. So, and I'm gonna plug this ring light back in so that it gives me a little bit of light from my face. Now, I wish this came with smell-o-vision so you could smell this stuff. This is weed. You could see the buds are very big. It doesn't smell skunky or anything, and it tastes like somebody put bug spray on it. I'm telling you, that is just wrong. What? Oh yeah. Hold on. Here. Now, these are empty containers here. Here's a thing. If you ever hear something called moon rocks, oh man, that's good. And a really groovy company called 42nd Latitude. They're out of Philadelphia, Pennsylvania. They're righteous, decent people. Yeah. Now, they have this stuff called Sonic Space Candy, which sounds really groovy. And it wasn't bad stuff. And they have this other thing called BK stands for, well, the K stands for push. I forget what the B stands for. But these were 8s, and this is a gram. But this stuff is really, really nice. But there's something I want to show you. Hold on. Okay. But yeah, there's buds. I just don't mess with them because I don't feel anything except poison. Now this is an extract. Do you guys know anything about this? I'm thinking I've seen different kind of vape pens, and most of them have those disposable cartridges that when you use them up, you have to get another cartridge. If I could find a way to smoke this, one of the things I tried to do is I tried take a little bit of rolling paper and put like a drop on this and put it in a bowl. And the thing is, a lot of times when you put the fire on it, the whole oil catches fire. And I know that the whole idea of vaping is the combustion is just below combustion temperature. So I'm thinking if I got the right kind of cartridges that could be filled, and I could fill it with this stuff. And of course, the letters on this are so small, I can't read them. And this stuff's supposed to be double strength. But when I tried to take the dropperfuls of it, I honestly didn't feel anything. And I tried empty stomach, and then they said it would be better to do it with food. And I always thought that empty stomachs, you felt things better. So I tried with food, and I tried without. And this could, in theory, be used if you were making edibles. But they don't think that I respond to edibles. So if that's the case, it would be better not to invest in something. But now, shatter and wax, and what was the other thing? Dabs. When I went to that convention and I bought those record albums and I got those dab hits, I definitely felt that. But they kind of make it so that these admission charges to get into these events are so high that you're paying what the equivalent would have been of the money you're going to spend on weed just to get in. You know, I don't know what kind of upper class people they were expecting to attract, but you know, they're not for poor people, let me tell you. And I don't think the vendors are going to chance selling anything outside the venue. For all I know, there may be a specific law that's actually preventing them from doing that. And there's only certain vendors that I would really want to patronize. But if I had the money that I spent on some things and I just went for buds instead. But the thing is, I thought that something that liquids would be good because you would be able to use in situations where you can't be practical with smoking, or whether some environments you just can't sneak away for a smoke, or the smell would give things away or attract the attention of security or something. But something tells me if I could find a refillable kind of vaping device that I can put drops of liquid in, then that's how I could use this stuff. And I know that they say that you can also put it on joints, but if the joint's good enough, why do you need to add something to it? And I really don't think I should take a chance with this stuff. I mean, would you smoke something that tasted like poison? And I'm sure that I don't want to say that that's what I think it is, but I don't understand. No weed should have any kind of a chemical taste or smell to it. Am I right? I've never smoked any weed that made my lips numb. That doesn't. The only thing that's ever made my lips numb was cocaine. All right, and I haven't done that since 2001. You know, hey, I had my fun one day. You know, when it was time for me to walk away from everything, I did. You know, and I haven't had a drink since 2004. And there's no way would I touch alcohol again. Alcohol is so dangerous. Alcohol is a drug. I don't care that it's legal and people can handle it and stuff. For me, it is absolutely dangerous. And I never did stupid things on anything the way I did on alcohol. So I'm really glad it's no longer a part of my life. You know, and I'm very proud to say that no matter how stressed out I get about life or neighbors or roommates or whatever, nothing would make me go back and do something dangerous like that ever again. You know, I don't need to go to meetings to know what's bad for me. I just know it's kind of like turning on a switch. I know what's bad and I just don't do it. Oh, you want to know something that's not very bad, but not necessarily very good? Come here, Cassie. Oh, look at I got Cassie. She's such a sweetheart. Yes, she is. This is my Cassie. Hello. Hello. Oh, Cassie tried to get in the shower with me the other day. Yeah, she doesn't mind getting wet. And of course, it doesn't do any good to yell at her because she can't hear. Oh, of course, when I gave her a bath a couple of weeks ago, her fur got matted. I'm going to have to find a brush and see about getting her fur untangled. I hope I don't have to end up shaving her. That's what they do to cats when they're too matted up. Oh, oh, what's the matter? I got a little bit of hair dye on her by mistake, but the stuff isn't poisonous. Oh, what's the matter? You're so pretty. Look at that pretty face. Show everybody your pretty face. Aren't you pretty? Yes, my Cassie. Yes, my Cassie girl. I love you. You're so pretty. Yes, you're a pretty girl. I gave my kitties a new kind of food today. I gave them this liquid bone broth stuff. The instructions said specifically to mix it in with dry food. And that's what I did. And I offered to Tabby Boy first. And he turns his nose up at it. So then I took her in and I brought it to her. And of course, she's the food person. Oh my goodness. Anything that's meaty, any kind, she's such a food motivated kitty, aren't you? And she ate it all up. Yeah, she did. So then I opened up a can of cat food and I put it over the rest of the food and I split it between the two of them and they ate it all up. She liked that, right? You like that? Oh, why are you crying? You crying? You don't need to cry. You my baby? You my baby? Oh, hey. All right, hey. You can't hear me. What? Oh, okay, I'm gonna put you down. Pretty little girl. Oh, it is so hot in here. I hope all you guys have air conditioning. telling me. Why anybody think that it's okay not to live with air conditioning, I would never understand. I think it is beyond cruel and unusual punishment to be expected to live without it. I mean, really, any of you guys live without air conditioning? Come on, that's just quite miserable. Now I got cat hairs in my nose. I hope my sound is okay on this. The last couple of videos, I noticed the sound seemed to go in and out. And this built-in webcam has a built-in microphone on either side of the lens. But even when I'm staying right in front of the computer, the sound still goes in and out. And I do have a lavalier microphone, but it only has 6-foot cord. And I have two of them. And you think I know where they are? Oh, no. So this is that stuff that Tabby Boy wouldn't eat. I mean, I'm sure he would eat this by itself. He would drink it. But when I mixed it over their dry food, he wasn't into it. I'm, I'm thirsty. I'm going to make some iced tea. If you've ever had it before, this iced tea mix is pretty good. But do be careful. One of these I opened up, and I was having a hard time getting the powder out, and it was kind of solidified. And here what had happened was some of it got moldy inside, and when I finally cut it open, I saw that it was green. So I'm going to have to contact the company. Hopefully they'll send me a coupon. One of the things I do with bottled water, when the water is finished, I just put water back in it and I refill it in the refrigerator. And I find out these powdered things that are supposed to be 1 to a bottle, but I actually can use a third of a container in a bottle of water. So they go further. And sometimes if they need a little sweetener, I'll use liquid from canned fruit or something. I have fruit cocktail. At least that's what they used to call it. Now they call it just canned mixed fruit. But it comes with a lot of like corn syrup or something. Hopefully, though, this doesn't look very dark, but hopefully this will have enough flavor. I'm just so damn thirsty. Could have a bit more flavor. It feels like it's 100 degrees in here. I should take a look at what the time said would be on there. It says bake 12 to 15 minutes or until golden brown. I'm going to take a look at it. You know, maybe I should take them out and take a look at them. I'm not sure if they're done enough. I'm going to ask my mother to ask what she thinks. Get this out of my way, Cat. All right, I showed these to my mother, and she thinks they are done enough. So I'm going to turn the oven on, and of course, we have to see how good they are. Oh, put this back in. This isn't real butter. This is parquet, and I did not use fake butter. I don't do fake butter. And plus, the parquet is just margarine. Isn't margarine a trans fat? I don't do trans fats either. Hot, 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 hot. Here, get a plate. Oh, oh, look who's here, my tally boy. All right. Oh, butter on, and give the verdict. Probably done. I'm going to show my mother a bigger one. Cut it in half. And I'm going to ask her if she thinks it's done. I'm not 100% sure it is. Okay, this is what bigger one looks like. And she says that they are done. And she said if I were to leave them in longer, they would be hard as rocks. So there you have it. That's how I made baking powder biscuits, or what we call Bachelor biscuits. And this is from the New York Times cookbook. Let me make sure that in fact that is what this cookbook is. Yes, it is. This is New York Times cookbook. And my mother had a similar one to this, but I actually found this on the sidewalk a couple years ago. I believe this is from, let's see, oh yes, copyright 1961. Okay, it's not young, but that's where it came from. So I'm gonna settle down to eat some biscuits. Oh, you want to see Tabby Boy? Come here, baby. Oh, look at my Tabby Boy. See my baby. Okay. If you like this video, feel free to give it a thumbs up. If you like me and my content and you haven't already, I'd love to have you subscribe. If you do, hit the bell so you don't miss anything. Um, oh no, you put your dirty paw in my mouth. Oh, Wish I had some vodka to wash my mouth out. I'm gonna have to wash my mouth out with soap. All right, I'll talk to you later. Thank you for watching. And you just gave me the gumsy bungees. Oh, oh. Bye. Can't believe you did that, Tally boy. Whoops. Wait a minute. Oh, wrong button. Thanks for watching.